Well, that was the worst movie I've seen so far this year. What's up, YouTube? This is your friendly neighborhood movie nerd, back to give you guys everything that is going on in the world of movies. And as you guys probably guessed from this review, I am indeed reviewing the new, darker, grittier, and angstier reboot of Power Rangers. So let's get into the latest review that is going to have every audience member put on those nostalgia goggles again. This is my official review for the 2017 live-action Power Rangers.
Let's go! Go!
This is your time.
So in this version of the classic live-action anime series from the 90s, 5 teens, that being Jason, Kimberly, Billy, Trini, and Zach, end up discovering a spaceship buried near their hometown of Angel Grove. After discovering the existence of the former alien-turned-AI Zordon, as well as butler robot Alpha 5, the teens discover that they must become the next generation of Power Rangers, armored heroes who must hold down the front line against Rita Repulsa, who seeks their planet Zeo Crystal in order to conquer the world. So this movie sucked. Just no way to get around it. This movie sucked. You want to talk about checking off all of the pandering to millennials checkboxes? Oh, and let's not forget about pandering to 90s teens nostalgia boxes. Let's go through them. An overall dark and colorless setting? Check. Characters so bland and boring they may as well be stock characters from the last 5 YA films that have been released? Check. Dialogue that is so clunky and unsubtle you'd swear a 5-year-old had written it? Check. Enough CGI to attempt to cover for mediocre storytelling? Check, check, and check. And the message for all of those 90s teens that are going to flock to this movie, this is a warning. This is not the Power Rangers that you grew up with. This is nothing, I repeat, nothing like that 90s TV series. The 90s Power Rangers TV series, despite its many flaws, was at the very least 100% self-aware of what it was. A fun, dumb, and really low-budget Saturday morning live-action cartoon that made the absolute best of its very cheap costume design and as much Japanese kaiju stock footage as they possibly could get their hands on. This film is so unnecessarily dark, depressing, and moody that at times I had to remind myself that this was a Power Rangers remake and not the millennial emo crusade. The acting was completely all over the place, kind of like this movie. The one thing that I can definitely say that I actually mildly enjoyed the chemistry between the 5 teens. So these are all newcomers: Dacre Montgomery, RJ Kyler, Naomi Scott, Becky G, and Ludi Lin. Despite the fact that they had some of the worst dialogue that I have ever seen on screen, as well as having to deal with some laughable looking CGI, they were actually, whenever the 5 of them were together, it was enjoyable to watch them on screen. I've seen like almost every interview of these guys behind the scenes, and you could absolutely tell that these guys had a blast working together, and it really shows. In terms of their actual performances, however, I can really only say that the only 2 of them who actually gave me a sense that they were actually playing characters were definitively RJ and Dacre. They were the only ones that like convinced me, just like, oh, you guys are Billy and Jason for sure. Naomi was clearly only hired because of her looks, which sucks because her accent is spot on, but her character motivation was completely laughable at best, while Becky G's explanation for herself being a lesbian was probably one of the most horribly written sentences I've ever heard. Ludi Lin was the worst out of the bunch. He was laughable at best. He was trying so hard to be, I don't know, he was trying hard to be tough, and it just did not come across on screen. And here's the other thing about this movie that drives me completely friggin' nuts, that I know it's going to really like try to pride itself on, is this movie is going to pride itself based on the fact that, yes, it's technically the first superhero movie that has autistic, lesbian, and bilingual superheroes. Well, congratulations. Next time, try to make a good movie first before you try to focus on those things. As for Cranston and Hader, they were both completely wasted as Zordon and Alpha 5. The one thing I can say, I didn't watch a whole lot of Power Rangers growing up, but the one thing that I can definitively say about Zordon is that Zordon at least kind of cared about the teenagers. He was like their after-school teacher. This Zordon was a complete dickhead. He just did not give a shit about them. But the good news is that at least Cranston and Hader were able to get an easy paycheck out of this. And now we get to, oh god, Elizabeth Banks, what were you doing in this movie? Like, seriously, I have no idea what to make of that performance. That performance may have quite possibly been the worst acting that I've seen since The Last Airbender. Except the problem with this performance is that it wasn't even boring the way The Last Airbender was. She was just overacting the shit out of this to the point of annoying and beyond. Her lines were so laughable. She even made the chick from Mortal Kombat Annihilation look like she deserved a friggin' Academy Award. Hands down, one of the most laughable performances I've ever seen. Every time she was on screen. I was just distracted. I didn't know what she was doing. I don't know what the director decided to tell her. It's basically like she decided to say, okay, screw this overall dark tone. I'm just going to be Rita Repulsa from the original 90s cartoon, but on steroids. And man, did it not fit in with this overall movie. I mean, I hated the overall dark and depressing atmosphere, but at least she could have tried to blend into that, but man, did she not even bother. And you would think that where the movie sucked in terms of dialogue and actual storytelling, it would more than make up for in terms of the action set pieces, right? But they couldn't even get that right because the CGI looked terrible. I should have been at the very least entertained by the Zords punching that whatever, I don't even know if that was Goldar in the face. I mean, I guess it was Goldar because they called him that on screen, but I still refuse to believe that that actually is Goldar. I was supposed to be entertained by it, but I was so distracted by the fact that that was the worst CGI I've probably ever seen. Forget the fact that the Mutos and Godzilla had more distinct features than Goldar did, but when the Megazord finally did assemble, I got the equivalent of Pacific Rim that had been kneed in the balls and given a shot of shrinking fluid. Seriously, the effects in Transformers looked better than this. This is a film that was just so desperate to capitalize on yet another beloved 90s product, and to absolutely, well, at least not to my surprise. I shouldn't say to everybody's surprise because all the people in my theater were friggin' cheering for this movie once it ended. This was once a fun, dumb, and extremely colorful Saturday morning action fest. It has been transformed into a dull, boring, and very unnecessarily angsty, colorless pile with just the right amount of overacting and Easter eggs to get all of your guys' money. And it just, I just felt like this movie borrowed so much from other movies that did what this movie was trying to do better already. It's basically, the thing I can try is that this movie was trying to do a good mix between Chronicle and The Breakfast Club, but it just failed on all different accounts. Please do not see this movie. I promise you, it is not worth the price of admission. I'm only giving this movie 2 out of 10 stars. Not to mention the fact that there was a bit of product placement in this movie that probably beat out all the product placement in all 4 Transformers movies, which is saying a lot. So yeah, that's it. That is my review for the Power Rangers movie. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments below, as per usual. Also, make sure you click that like button and that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Movie Nerd Reviews. Also, head on over to the website, movienerdreviews.com. That is it. I will see you guys next time.